Welcome to the show, my friend Pat Day. Pat Day joining us on the Baseball Forward podcast today. Pat, I'm excited to see you, man. It's been maybe I'm gonna say 10 years since we saw each other's faces, at least on like FaceTime or face to face. Is that an accurate assessment?
Yeah, 9, 10 years. I believe. Yeah, I'm coming up on my high school reunion. It was that summer after. So absolutely, man. It's great to see your face, man.
Yeah, man. Welcome to the show. And for those of you guys, Pat Day is an assistant coach, pitching coach at Ranger College. Pat is a former player of mine. This guy has an energy that kind of I'm impressed with. You know, I'm an energetic guy, but I'm like, I think he might have more energy than me. And if you're watching this somewhere, you'll see his lovely mustache. But if you're listening to it, believe this: as I'm sitting here looking at him, dude, he's got a nice looking mustache going. So, Pat, welcome to the show, man. I wanna get into this, and I wanna lead off with, man, talk to the audience, the Baseball Forward audience, about how we know each other and what our background is.
Awesome. First off, guys, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Looking forward to the show. It's gonna be a fun time. Well, guys, so Ross was actually my pitching coach when I played for the DBAT National Elite Team, going into my freshman year of college. As far as energy, he says I have it, but I learned it from him, to be honest. So,
No
getting to work with him was a lot of fun. Learned a lot of stuff. He was an instrumental part of me going into my freshman year, teaching me a lot of stuff outside of the game. Coming from I'm from Tyler, but coming from a smaller school that didn't have a lot of um, resources and things like that, it was really cool to work with somebody from a higher level background. And for really the first time, besides growing up with my pitching coach, other than that, it was really cool to learn more of the ins and outs of things, and not just throw the ball hard right by people. That's kind of what I did, and that's kind of all I knew. But learning the ins and outs and a lot more of the mental side and a lot of other things that really helped me, as a incoming freshman of college, and it helped me, make a name for myself that year.
Awesome, Pat. I want to get into this, Pat, because I know you had an interesting ride. Pat was a left-handed pitcher, had a bazooka connected to his, well, probably still does have a bazooka. Maybe we need to go out and play catch. Had a bazooka attached to his body, left arm, left-handed pitcher, really good arm, like bulldog out on the mound. So, Pat, I want to know kind of your playing career was interesting. You started out, you committed to a Division I school out of high school. You played, you transferred. Tell us a little bit about what your playing career looked like.
So my playing career is interesting. I started off in high school, four year varsity starter, 4 year all district, at a 4A. I was this was before all the recruiting changes. You can still talk to sixth and seventh graders back then. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's a little extreme on that side, but I was committed to Texas Tech the summer after my sophomore year, going all the way up until my senior year. I actually ended up decommitting, and I committed to U of H, and then
University of
long,
Houston.
yes, sir. And
Yep.
so, long story short, didn't end up going. About 2 weeks before school started, there were some changes made, and I kind of didn't know what to do. But being from Tyler, SFA is right down the street, so Stephen F. Austin offered me. Went down the road and was able to pitch for them for 2 years, and it was a good time. And I really enjoyed playing over there, but decided to take my talents elsewhere after my sophomore year. Transferred to LSU Shreveport, which is one of the top 5 NAIA programs in the country, year in and year out. I think it's 21 straight conference championships.
Dang.
Or is it the conference championships or tournament champions?
They're
Or
legit, bottom line.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
Yep.
I mean, their facilities even now they're nicer than a lot of Division I schools. So,
Wow.
it's $2 million locker room, turf field, really nice. But transferred over there, you know, got to a culture where winning was the standard. 40 wins was a bad season, and so, coming from my high school, man, I think we maybe won 20 games my freshman through junior year combined.
Oh, wow.
Senior year, we had 24-9. So it was cool. And then went to SFA. And, like I said, Had a great time there. Learned a lot of stuff over there. Appreciated the time that Johnny Cardenas and Bo Martino actually put into me there while I was there. But like I said, decided to leave and go play for Brent LaValle at LSU Shreveport, and that's where my career really started to elevate. I became a bullpen arm over there. Was all conference, all American. I currently hold the record for single season saves as well as career over there.
Hell yeah, dude.
And
Yeah.
I wasn't a closer except for the last 2 weeks of my junior year and then my whole senior year. So it was a really good time over there, man. I had a lot of fun while playing over there. Like I said, and Brent LaValle really changed my career and just me as a person. Me and my dad always say I went to Shreveport still a boy and left a man, and so that was an integral part of just my life, man. Old Shreveport will always hold a special place in my heart.
Oh, Pat, I love hearing that, dude, because man, to listen to the baseball forward audience, there are going to be a bunch of young men that are listening to this, and I
Mhm.
think in the culture that we live in now, with recruiting and going and playing at the next level, it's like people have forgotten what we're playing for. The game is supposed to be fun. You want to have a pick a school where you can go play, where you can enjoy yourself, but you want to mature. So I want your take on this. And you don't have to get too personal with it. I know you loved where you were at, but I'm curious what goes through your mind. Why do you transfer? And like think about what you just said about LSU Shreveport. I understand how good of a program that is, but how do more people not understand how quality of the baseball is at the NAIA level or at the junior college level? It's all eyes on D1. I understand it's what you see on ESPN and
Right.
everything, but number one, take me through what made you transfer from an NCAA Division I school to an NAIA program, and then the high praise you had for NAIA. I want to know more about that.
So it's interesting. So um, obviously, you play at the Division I level. It's cool, man. Everyone wants to get on Twitter and tweet, "Hey, I'm going to Texas. I'm going to Texas A&M." But it's all about the fit, and the fit wasn't the problem at SFA. There really wasn't an issue for leaving. I just really took an importance of wanting to go, and I wanted to win.
Mm.
And because that's something, like I said, in high school, I never really got to do that. Now I played on select teams. We won all the time. We were really good. I played for organizations back home, and then played obviously with DBAT with you guys, and it was nice to win. And so getting to SFA, we did struggle, but like I said, that wasn't just the biggest reason. I just felt like I could do more with my career and I could elevate myself, And so I still wasn't even sure what NAIA was, to be honest. I
Wow.
just saw winning. I saw winning, and winning matters. Being good and going under 500 or doing all this stuff. It wasn't as fun. You start to lose that love for the game and that fire,
Mm.
because like I said, winning's important. I
Wow.
want to win. I don't want to go and I could be an all conference player, but if we win 15, 20 games, man, it's what's the point? It's not as fun. And so going to be into a culture where winning was the standard, winning was the only thing everyone cared about. No one cared when you got to Shreveport if they were 0 for 4. If we won the game, that's all that mattered. And so going over there and getting to embrace jump into that culture and be a part of something like that, that's what I learned was important to me. And so going to, like I said, still wasn't really sure what the NIA was. Went over there and learned really quickly. When you're those top 20 teams that are year in, year out in there, that's good baseball, man. I
Yeah.
mean, we beat two, two or three D1 programs while I was there. Beat up on the top 10 teams in Division II baseball when I was there.
Wow.
Beat some D3 schools. Like when I was there, man, it was legit. And you know, um, you see some guys. There's some guys out there. We used to always you know, make jokes about, the NAIA and stuff like that while we were there. But at the end of the day, man, college baseball is college baseball.
Yes, sir.
Regardless of what level you're playing at, this is what I tell kids is everybody on a college baseball roster was the dude at their high school. And so when you're going and you're playing at that level and all of a sudden you're like, what's the NAIA? Well, they roll out a starter 91, 94, and you're kind of like, oh.
That's what
This
it
is
is.
everywhere. This is
Yep.
everywhere, and
Wow.
you're playing with grown men, and it's exciting, man. So as far as NAIA, man, people sleep on it. When you're playing college baseball, man, like I said, at the end of the day, you could be the dude wherever you're at, but you got to go be the dude there too. And everybody that's there, all 50 men or 35 or whatever the roster size is, they're all fighting for that same role, that same spot. And it was awesome, man. Like I said, I had a great time playing in it.
Pat, like something about Pat, just again, this is the Baseball Forward podcast. I'm your host, Ross Hawley. We're talking with Pat Day of Ranger College. And I'm familiar. I know Pat, obviously, from his playing days. And one thing that I promise you, like if you sat me down and said, what was Pat Day all about? Man, he was a good teammate. Man, he always showed up. Man, he always did what was asked of him. Man, he wasn't a problem for it. He was a, like, I would say you're a culture first guy and you had an extreme amount of athletic talent. And it's so fun for me to listen to you now with where you're at. You're leading men. And what you're saying is, you went to LSU Shreveport. You're winning mattered. You put that above yourself. Like, so, hey, I could be all conference. So what? Winning matters. So if you're listening out there, having that mindset will help you be successful. So I love hearing that you were true to yourself and that you transferred and that you had the career that you had. So here's an interesting question that I have for you.
Okay.
As you sit here now, Pat, how old are you now? 20.
I turned 29 yesterday.
Oh,
So
dude, I saw that. I'm sorry. Happy birthday, my friend. Hey,
appreciate it, man.
we'll
Thank
sing
you.
happy birthday at the end here now. Dude, so as a 29-year-old man, you've got some notches under your belt. You're moving up the ranks. You're coaching. You're where you belong, in my opinion. If you would have, what advice do you wish you would have been able to give yourself as a player? Like, because you're sitting here as a coach now, you got the answers. You're supposed to have the answers. What advice would you have given a younger version of you?
Man, honestly, for me, I was the big head cocky kid. Kind of a little bit with my energy work. Now I still worked and everything, but I was that. My freshman year, I'm an incoming freshman. I'm at a D1. I'm this or that. I didn't really listen. And I kind of had that mentality a little bit going into my sophomore year. When I transferred out to LSU Shreveport, is when, like I said, Britt LaValle was the head coach. Now he's now the manager for the High A Blue Jays. So he taught me a lot, man. The biggest advice I'd have to myself is literally just listen to people. It's taking something new. Like I said, I grew up in an area where baseball wasn't. I'm from East Texas, man. East Texas is known for football. It's go get it, let's go play. Baseball players come out of there all the time, but it's not an important thing. And then at my high school, it's football and basketball. Baseball is on the afterburner. No one really cared. That's just kind of how it was. It's at Chapel Hill. They go to state every year in football, and they go about 3 to 4 rounds deep in playoffs in basketball. Baseball hasn't been to the playoffs since my freshman year. So,
Dang.
I was the know-it-all there. I had to run everything. I was all of that, and so I took that mentality with me to the next level at first, and I just didn't necessarily listen and take in all the new stuff. Flyos weren't as big then. Bands were just kind of getting going with the J bands and stuff like that. So the advice to my younger self was, dude, just listen to somebody else one time. Because I did struggle with that at times. That's just kind of myself, man. I look back all the time, and it's funny because I'll have kids now that they're very similar, and I'm just like, dude, just listen to me. I know you don't want to. I know you don't trust me. I know you know everything right now, but just trust me this one time, and I'll help you. I promise. And it's getting to be able to build with those kids and be able to connect with them so that they'll be able to trust me, because you got to build something before that, and I totally understand that because, like I said, I was the same way. So I just didn't think I allowed myself to build those connections early on because of how my mindset was at the time.
What's because, dude, I'm loving hearing this. Like, it's so good. It's such good perspective. And I'm like, dude, how much quicker you grew up than I did, because I was similar, man. So I want to know right now as a young coach, and what's the key to being a good coach, do you believe?
I think it's all people skills, man. The better you can
Mm,
connect with people, the more people will trust you. Obviously, you got to know what you're doing, man. You got to walk the line. You got to be able. You got to be able to do it. You got to be able to teach it. You got to be able to explain it. I think a big thing with coaches these days is everything is all tech based, and I think there's a time and place for all the tech and analytics. But if you can't coach with that iPad out of your hand, then I think coaches will struggle with that. And I think building those connections is what has been able to help, lead me to have success with players and coaches. I think that's one of my greatest skills is people skills. So
mm,
getting kids to buy into what I'm selling, you know what I mean? And I think that's been the biggest thing that helps. So I think to be a good coach, man, one, you have to know the knowledge. There's no debating that. There's no hiding. You find out pretty quick who knows it and who doesn't.
mhm.
But I think being able to implement new stuff as well as old stuff, um, and like I said, having those skills to connect with people and athletes, because if athletes don't trust you, you're not going to get anything out of them. And so building it, you have to be able to build a relationship, a personal relationship. But there's a hard line in the sand when it comes to being their friend, being their coach. I would consider myself a player's coach, but at the end of the day, none of my players are going to try to go behind my back or lie to me or things like that. They trust me and know me too well to be able to think that one, that's okay. Two, they're crazy if they think they're going to get away with it.
Yeah.
And then third, man, they just, like I said, I think the fact that I can, blend old school stuff with that new school technology, I think has helped me out a lot. And again, I think just building those relationships. Like I said, man, players love playing for me. That's just
That
reality.
that's a fact. Players love playing for you. Coaches loved coaching you, and I know this. I love hearing that you kinda, you had that realization that you needed to listen. That's
Hmm.
interesting introspection on your part, because I didn't necessarily see it that way. I saw it when I coached you. I thought you did a pretty good job of listening. And so, but I know where you're coming from, man. And it's you said it, you nailed it. Coaching is about people skills, and it's funny that I one of our main contributors on the Baseball Forward podcast is legendary coach Gary Ward.
Hmm.
You're 29, and this is a show the spectrum. You're 29, he's 83, I'm 44. The spectrum, no matter how the game changes, it
Hmm.
doesn't really change. And
No.
the guys that get it, the guys that get, hey, you got to gain the trust of these your players to really affect them. The guys that
Hmm.
understand that are the ones that are going to be doing it for a long, long time. So I love it, man. I want to shift, and I want to get your perspective with where you're at in your career right now,
Okay.
because I know a big component of coaching in baseball now is the mental preparation piece.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna leave it general and vague, but I'm gonna say, how important is mental preparation today in a play for a player's success?
It's probably one of the highest levels of importance for a player. You have to be mentally prepared, mentally tough. Because when things go wrong, everything's good when you're going great, but being mentally tough, being prepared, because you have to be prepared for not only the good things that are going to happen, but hey, what's worst case scenario here? You have to run through these things in your mind, because as those things happen, breathing starts. You start breathing really fast. You got to be able to control your breathing. You got to be able to, because when things go bad, okay, you're going to resort to like the highest level of like mental training, mental toughness, whatever you want to call it. You're going to resort to that. So if you're not mentally prepared for
Mm,
these bad things to happen and only mentally prepared for the good things to happen, you're going to struggle, especially in baseball where it's a game of failure. You know what I mean? So being mentally prepared is so important, because, like I said, whatever happens, good, bad, or ugly, you have to be mentally prepared for whatever it happens, because you have to be able to get through it. And if you're only, like I said, if you're only able to get through the good, and not the bad, this is going to be a long career and hard career for you to play in. So
man.
that's for me. That's kind of, like I said, it's pretty short, pretty sweet, but I mean, that's
Let
really
let
it.
let let me ask you this. So, like, if I'm a player for you, and you're like, dang,
Okay.
this Ross dude is a nut job. He can't slow his little mind down. What would you give me to work on? How can I work on mentally preparing for failure? Is there any work that I can be doing? What would you recommend that way?
It really just there's a couple different things you can do it, depending on what kind of player you are, what kind of kid are you, like, visual, kind of active, whatever it is for you. Obviously, learning that helps. I've used trips of giving a mental toughness book to some players and having them read it. Um, we do a 5-star drill during our mobility circuit on a daily basis, where they just kind of lay back and just close
Mm,
their eyes, and for a minute I'm talking like, hey, like, everything's going good, you're shoving, every pitch is working, and I'm like, pause, you just gave up a 3-run nuke,
mm,
and now you got the best hitter in the conference coming up to plate. Like, how are you going to battle? What pitches? Your breathing's going crazy right now. I start talking a little faster. I start getting a little more aggressive with my tone. That's another thing that I'll do. And then just simple conversations. I have a 24/7 open door policy.
mm.
Um, my door's always open for guys to come in and talk with me. It's funny because I told them my phone's 24/7 too. I've gotten a call at 1 a.m. and driven up from where I live up to my office to meet with a player and talk with them. Um,
Wow.
like I said, it's based off what the player needs. You know what I mean? I have
Mm,
guys who I can give them the book, and they're actually going to read it, or I wouldn't give it to them. But they're going to read some chapters, and I have this mental toughness book. It's a David Goggins book, actually, and I have different chapters highlighted for different things,
yeah.
and I'll just give it to them, and be like, hey, go read chapter 3, and then
Wow.
come give me a summary of it. But that's only for select guys. I think the biggest thing is, like I said, prepping these guys for failure, because again, it's gonna happen. We just had our first fall game of the year yesterday, and I had a kid who was breathing heavy, couldn't stop shaking up on the mound, freshman, and I come out there, I was like, hey, you've already been through this situation. He kind of looked at me. I was like, we do it every day. And I just got out there and told him to control his breathing. I was like, hey, man, like, these days get longer, these outings get longer, we get better. And so get out here. I was like, control your breathing, take a deep breath, step off, you know, go to the happy Gilmore, kind of find your happy place, like figure it out. You know what I mean? Because right now you hit them with the, I'm not pulling you, you're gonna figure this out. And
Yes.
so they go out there, and he actually he went from like a 1.5, 1.6 to the plate, which is not very, very fast, but he went to a 1.2, and still ended his inning after starting off with back-to-back walks, ended the inning with no more walks, 2 Ks, and got out of it. So without giving up a run.
Hell
So
yeah.
like I said, walking up to him and just letting him know one, I have his back. I believe that he's in this spot because he can handle it. And so understanding that we've been here, man, you've done this, like, not everything's sunshine and rainbows out here. What are
Nope.
you going to do to bounce back? I always ask the big thing I asked him was like, is this guy better than you? He's like, no. I'm like, are you better than him? Yeah. Well, throw it over the plate and show me that you're better than him. Go compete against him and show him and me that you're better than him. And so, you can kind of see that deep breath, and that you just look at their eyes. You can also walk out there in their eyes and see, hey, he's going through it right now, or he's fine. He's just got to slow down. And so
Wow.
for me, like I said, there's different tactics. There's more than one way to skin a cat. And so,
Yep.
but again, that all relates back to understanding your players and building that relationship, and understanding how their mind works and how they process things, and then that's how you can go attack those things.
Dude, that is I love hearing that, because it, like you said, if you know your guys, I think all players, Pat, I think all players. I mean, I
Mhm.
remember it when I played, and that was a long time ago, but I wanted to trust my coaches. I wanted to believe that my coaches had my back, believed in me, and it made me feel 10 feet tall.
Absolutely.
And I think that is a huge piece of the mental preparation, because I'm curious. You said something about your open door policy.
Mhm.
You don't have to tell me certain situations, but
Yeah.
do guys come to you now, and do they? Because I know when I played in an older generation, oh, you don't rub dirt on, don't talk about your feelings and everything.
Mhm.
Which I think is stupid, honestly. Um, do guys come talk to you and be like, hey, Pat, man, I'm on the struggle bus, dude. I don't know what's going on. Like, how do they come to you with stuff like that now?
Oh, they'll come to me for stuff outside of the game.
Wow.
because they understand that I truly am here for them, and I've built that, that connection with them, and then with the staff. And now when it comes to rub dirt on it, don't talk about it. Not necessarily that mindset for it, but at the field, things like that, like, hey, just kind of take care of it, breathe. All right, come talk to me after, and we'll come talk. And I got the bigger office of the two. There's another or this other assistant's right over here as well. He's connected to it, but his is a little smaller. Mine's a little bigger. I have kids coming in here all day. Whether they're just coming to grab stuff, grab a charge, they'll come and just sit and talk with me just because they don't have class and they got 30-minute break and they don't want to go sit in the dorm, so they'll come in here and we'll chat. Anything from
Wow.
pitching, like life. I mean, it's truly an open door policy. Guys literally will come talk about anything.
Wow. What an honor for you. And I know that you take that so seriously, dude, because you are a lover of people and no one better in that situation, man. All right. I want to we're on the Baseball Forward podcast talking with Pat Day of Ranger College today. Pat, I want to get into while we have you and we're talking, college baseball
Perfect.
bits and pieces. I want to like, it's so hard for kids navigating the recruiting process. There's so many kids out there that don't know what they're doing. So I want to keep this simple for them. And for a guy that, is out on the trail out, I see when you're landing guys here and you're landing guys there and you're excited about it. I want to know, what you recommend for players that are wanting to be recruited by you guys. Like, how do they get your attention?
Play hard, be fun to watch. Those are the two things I preach a lot about. Guys with that high motor, the guys that you can tell are there because they want to be there, not just because they signed up to play and their parents dropped them off. The guys, example, like seeing something like a guy playing third base, ball hit down the line, it's foul. Does he just take a slow step to it because he knows it's foul? Does he go play the ball and get the rep? It's little things like that, hustling in and out the dugout, all the stuff that as a high school kid, when you're hearing coaches say about it, you're kind of like, oh my God, like whatever. Those little things are so important. And those are what makes you stand out, because if player A and player B have the same talent, I like both of them, but one of them hustles on and off the field. The other one does all the extra stuff. The other one's kind of slow in, slow out. The kid that's the higher motor, the kid that I enjoy to watch play or enjoy to watch be a teammate in the dugout, or the kid that it's just kind of bland. He's just there to play, lets his talent play. There's so much more to the game to it. Like, to get recruited by us, we want guys that play hard, play fast, have fun, and they're fun to watch, man. I mean,
Love that.
From, like I said, simple things of foul ball down the line, going and getting it, tracking a ball that's foul, and as an outfielder, it's foul, it's gone, but they're still tracking the ball, getting to the wall instead of just giving a courtesy jog. It's little things like that. Ground balls to pitchers, ground balls at first base. Are we slow jogging? Are we getting down the line?
Yeah.
There's several different ways, man. I mean, it's all, like I said, it's all the little stuff that coaches will tell you about and that they preach to you, and that you're kind of like, whatever, man. I mean, because like I said, I've been there.
Yep,
And I see it on faces now, because I still coach select baseball too. And so, these kids they're slowly getting it, because, I feel like a lot of these kids, especially this younger generation, they're so focused on Twitter and getting their stats, and they're getting their videos out there, man. Unless hard nosed, just go get it baseball players, that's not really the focus. Just playing for the love of the game, man. Playing to go have fun. It's fun, stealing bases. It's fun, getting on and off the field. Like, my select teams, like, we have 15 seconds once the inning ends to be in your spot. Like, go get out of the dugout. Stop playing around. Foul ball, coach, it's foul. Like, then get over to the fence and get there and be under it in case for some reason the wind blows it back in. It's little things. And so just doing all the little things, like I said, the difference between good players and great players, the elite level players, man, they do all the little stuff. They're good at that stuff too. They're not just average at that. They make everything important. Everything matters. It takes what it takes to play at the next level. And so if you're not going to do the little things, don't expect big results, because if you're not great at every single aspect, you're going to struggle in this game. Like I said, if you go watch Mike Trout or, all these big name players play in the MLB, I bet you when you watch them do their tee work when no one's watching, it's high intent based. There's a focus. They're swinging hard, or they're working something They're not just there like, man, don't do it, and
Yep.
just swinging, because that's reality. Like I said, I tell people all the time, great players are great at everything, whether
Yep.
that be with it more than just when the lights turn on and it's go time. They're good at all the ins and outs. Like, they might be tired and sore, but they're still out there doing whatever sprint work they got to do. They're out there doing the base running every single rep during BP when their group is on the base running section. They're focused. They're hyper focused. They're being elite at that stuff. They're not taking reps off. Everything matters. They're the first ones out the dugout in between innings. You know what I mean? Their catch play is important. They're not just going through the motions. To be great, it takes what it takes, and you have to be great at everything, not just the important stuff, but
Yep. Yep.
all aspects, all facets of this game. Because, like I said, the game knows also. So
Yeah, it
as
does.
as we all know, so guys who take care of everything, man, it's that. So a lot of what I tell kids, man, is as college coaches, we're gonna know if we like you based off watching you swing it a couple times and make a couple plays, right? But
Yep.
so if I go to watch you, I might already want a kid and like him. I've already seen him play twice, so I'll go watch him play, and I don't even watch him play. I'll watch him in the dugout. I'll watch him in and out the field, and then I'll watch other players in the meantime because I already know if he's got the skill. Now let's see if he's got what it takes, because
Wow.
having the skill and having what it takes are two different things.
Woo! I like that. Patty, say that to me one more time.
Which part? All of
Hey,
it?
having the skill and having what it takes, man.
Yeah.
That is a good. I like that a lot. You know what? And I know this. If you don't do the little things, to me, it shows me that you don't truly love the game. If you don't truly love the game, you're not going to play it at the highest levels. It's impossible.
Mm.
Um, I mean, would you agree with that?
Oh, for sure, man. Like I said, especially when you get to the college level and you're playing for fun and all this stuff in high school. And baseball is still fun at every level. This is not what I'm saying when I say this, but up here it's truly a business, man. To more so than in less than pro ball, but more so than the high school or the select level. It's
Sure.
business out here. You've got to love it, because if you don't, when you're playing, you got baseball 6 days a week, 3 to 5 hours, including weights. You got study hall. You got all these things. If you don't love it, you're gonna struggle and you're not gonna have a lot of fun, because like I said, you might only have 3 hours of practice. You'll have optional early work. You'll have optional indoor time. You have this stuff. If you don't love it, you're not gonna go do it. And if you don't love it, you're not gonna go do it right. And so
Mm,
knowing yourself and knowing what it is that you want to do and how you are and how you want to prepare, hey, that's going to show us everything we need to know. And so, like I said, when it comes to those recruits, man, I know if I want to recruit you based off watching you a game, I might come watch you 2 or 3 more times and watch everything else.
yep. Wow. I love
So
that. I love that. Let me ask you this, just like from like a an operational or perspective. If I'm
mhm.
if I want to get recruited by Ranger, I want your coaching staff to see me. How do I go about that? Do I hook up with you on Twitter? Do I have my coach reach out? How would you recommend these guys getting a hold of you?
Me personally, obviously every coach has their own way. I like Twitter. I like to see kids on there. Now I'm not one of those coaches that's going to offer you based off just seeing highlights. I got to see you play. Because like I said, it's more than just the talent, right?
Yep.
So there's other things that makes decisions easier and makes decisions be made. But as far as reaching out, man, email, field level, Twitter, I'm on all of them. I'm gonna see them. Coach Rodriguez is on all of them. He's gonna see Coach Harrison, our other coach. He's on there. He's gonna see it. Just reach out, man. If you're interested, reach out. Maybe not a mass email,
Yep.
but kind of more of a personal one. Those are always good. Um, but yeah, man, Twitter. Twitter's a big one for me. I mean, I'm just actively on there a lot.
Yep.
Got that's where I'll get a lot of stuff, and I'm not one of those guys that oh, I don't want to see it. Like, I do individually check everything that I get and go see. So guys interested out there that interested in playing for Ranger, hit me up on the X app or Twitter or whatever it is now.
Yes.
It might change next week, who knows? But hit me up on there. I'm on field level as well. Just like I said, just come and find me and reach out, man. Look forward to seeing your film and seeing if hopefully talking about an opportunity to come play for the Rangers.
Man, I love that, Pat, because it's like I always tell guys that are going through the recruiting process. I mean, I'm sitting here having this conversation, and I don't know who wouldn't want to have an opportunity to talk to you just because you breathe life into the situation. But like, if I'm coming to you as a player, guys, the Pat Days of the world, they want to freaking help you. That's why they coach. So let them coach you. And it's like, if you reach out to them, listen, like, ask him for feedback. He's going to tell you the truth. He's going to tell you if he thinks that you're a fit or you're not. And if you're not a fit, it's okay. Ask him, where do you think I realistically fit? I think so many guys go wrong in this process because they're scared to ask for answers or they're scared to get feedback. But the reality of recruiting is get the real feedback that will get you to the place where you belong. Is that a fair assessment?
Absolutely. I mean, I think when reaching out to coaches, I think you have to look in the mirror and understand who you are as a player. Because like for us, this Region 14 North that we're in, this conference is like the SEC of junior college baseball. It's the top junior college conference in the country.
Yep.
So, guys get here and there's still this stigma around junior college baseball. That's just JUCO. Well, here at our conference, bottom level team, top level team of the conference, doesn't matter where you fit in this conference. Everybody's 1 and 2 is going to be 91, 94 with guys coming out of the pen 93 plus. Ooh. That is reality. And so understanding that if you're a kid emailing me and you're 79, 81, man, you're not a fit. Understand the fit for guys that you want to go to. I said it at the beginning. Fit is important. Now if you throw 80, 81, man, there's a spot in college baseball for you somewhere. It might not be with me at Ranger, but I can let you know that and let you know maybe, hey, try reaching out to maybe these guys. And or look in this direction because, like I said, even in this conference, man, 85, 86 gets hit off the wall and over the fence all day. So, I mean, it's understanding the fit. Now, there's roles for guys like that and there's opportunities, and I don't turn guys away like that because, I can put 3 to 5 on you.
Yep.
So that's not the issue, but there's a lot more to it. But, like I said, it's understanding fit. Sometimes you'll get emails as coaches. It happens that realistically to all of us, even the Division I level, I've talked with Division I coaches. A kid emails them, Coach, I'm 78 on the mound. He's like, okay, like, what am I supposed to do with that? And so but it's at the end of the day, coaches, we respect your time as players. We don't want to waste your time. Please respect ours and understand that, if you know what you are, man. If you're not an everyday starter on your varsity level team as a senior, man, like, understand there's a spot for you to possibly play, but know who you're talking to, what level and what their standard is at their program, and please be respectful of their time and don't waste theirs. Because, and I say that respectfully to kids because, like I said, I've had some kids, and I just kind of shake my head when I get emails, and so. And that's reality out there. And that's why with the organization I work for, we tell kids the truth. And sometimes they don't want to hear it because, their parents tell them their whole life that you're the best ever. And dude, you're not even the best one on at your high school. And so, but it's getting kids to understand the fit and the role. So they're not emailing University of Texas while throwing 86. They're not emailing A&M when their exit velo is 85. Like, it's understanding the role, the fit, okay, and your talent level. You got to be able to look in the mirror and understand. Like I said at the beginning, everybody wants to get on Twitter and put, I'm committed to Texas. Well, hey, man, not everybody can play at the University of Texas, even the ones that get the pleasure to tweet that out.
Yep.
And so understanding fit is the biggest thing because there's more to it than just the skill level, man. And like fit goes with grades, like what you want to do when you get older. Different things, different levels. Like, so for me, man, like I said, just understand that just because you're emailing junior colleges, man, you got to be good. You got to be pretty damn good to come play here.
Yeah. So, and you know what, Pat? Like, I'm gonna say it because I don't have any skin in the game, and Pat's being politically correct and diplomatic because he's a fine young coach. But I'm gonna say, hey, if you suck, like, quit emailing coaches at quality programs. If you don't know it's a quality program, you probably suck. So I'm going to say it like this. I'll say it respectfully. If you're 80, if you're saying, hey, I'm 80, you top out at 80 and I got a knuckleball, don't contact Pat Day at Ranger College, okay? Because he doesn't care if you have a knuckleball. So I'll leave it like that, Pat.
There
All
you
right.
go.
Hey, and you know what? I want to, as we're winding down here on the Baseball Forward podcast with Pat Day of Ranger College, I got to give you an opportunity, man. You got the cutest little daughter in the world. Say hi to her. Say hi to her, and give her a little shout out real quick.
Hey Harper, what's going on? It's Daddy. I hope you're having a great day at preschool today. Love you so much, and I can't wait to see you shortly.
Boom, guys, you got to see. She is the cutest little girl ever. So, congratulations on that, Pat.
Thank you, man.
Pat,
Thank you.
I want to finish up with 2 questions for you, man.
Okay.
I'm curious what the best baseball advice you've ever received is.
Man, Britt LaValle had one of the best quotes that stuck with me. I've stolen it from him. I use it as my own every day. Shout out to you, Labs. But it's something simple, man. It's be where your feet are.
Be where your feet are.
Don't worry about what you did previously. Don't worry about what you're gonna do. Just be where you're at, man. Take care of business. If you're trying to get recruited and your best friend is you get recruited by all these guys, that's where his feet are. His feet are over there getting recruited. Yours are right here. Worry about yourself. Take care of your business. Take care of your job. Do your thing. Okay. Be great at what you do where you're at currently. Don't worry about, I should be this. I should be that. You're not there. You're right here. So what are you going to do in the situation and in the time that you're in? Because you got to make the most of it. So like I said, it's simple. Be where your feet are. I've used this term. I use it. I mean, I'll probably say it to myself daily. Because I get ahead of myself thinking and planning and doing all this stuff, as a coach and in my personal life as well. And I think that's the best baseball advice because not only is it baseball advice, it's life advice, man. Just be where your feet are at, man. Don't worry about this or that. Be where you're at. Make the most of the time where you are.
I love it, dude. And you know what? Being present is the most powerful thing in the game of baseball, but that translates to life as well. All right. I want since this is Baseball Forward and our movement is elevating the next generation. We're wanting to help, man. At Baseball Forward, we want to help. So I want to know this. What's your advice? It's probably gonna be the same. Your advice to the young players that are coming up. What advice do you have to elevate the next generation?
Guys, play hard. Man, play hard. Stop. Like I said, social media is a good thing, but it's also been a bad thing when it comes to baseball players. Like I said a little bit ago, there's a lot less hard-nosed baseball players out there. Guys that just want to play. They want to play hard. They want to be good. Who cares what the highlights look like? Who cares what the stats, man? Just go out there, play, have fun, and be, like I said, be fun to watch. That's the biggest thing. We want to see those guys that just go and get after it. The guys that coaches don't have to worry about. Hey, is Johnny here? Is he ready to go today? They know they know when Johnny shows up to the field, Johnny's ready to go, and Johnny's going to give everything he has. So, my advice, man, play hard, play fast, have fun. It's baseball. It's supposed to be fun. It ain't supposed to be a job yet. Have fun and go play.
Heck yeah. All right, I want to finish up with a little speed round.
Bring it on.
And I want to hear your thoughts on this. All right, number 1, the best hitter you ever faced.
I faced Andrew Benintendi the year he was the MVP of college. I faced him twice. I went 4-pitch walk the first time and a 3-pitch K the second AB. So,
oh wow, I like it. 4-pitch walk, 3-pitch K. I love it, dude. All right, the best pitcher you've ever played with or against.
I played with Michael Kopech growing up, who's with the Dodgers now. So him for sure.
Yeah, that dude throws smoke.
He threw 103 in high school, so
that's insane, dude. I remember out of like Mount Vernon, was that right?
Mount Pleasant.
That's right. Shout out Kopech, Mount Pleasant. Your greatest influence on your baseball career?
I have a couple. Starting with my pops, for sure. Dad, he gave me everything, gave me every opportunity. A couple more is Chad Parker is my best friend's dad. He was my select coach my whole life for the most part, from about 8 years old to about 14, 15. He's like a father figure to me. The same with Pat Mahomes Sr. He was my pitcher coach my whole life. Grew up with him. He coached me. I played with Pat my whole life, playing up in select.
Yep.
big instrumental part of my influence of at least pitching and things like that. And then lastly, Brent LaValle, man, I can't give the man enough props. Like I said, my college coach at Shreveport, who's been fortunate. No surprise, he's rising through the ranks with the Blue Jays. So between all of those guys, man, I'm grateful to have a lot of those guys in my corner and have those guys just help me. So
Heck yeah.
those are definitely biggest influences that stick out.
Shout out to you 4 men. You should feel very proud of yourselves, and I know that they do, because oh man, that's what it's all about, is getting you to where you need to be, because now you're going to do some damage where you're at.
Sure.
What's your greatest baseball memory, Pat?
Playing at the Little League World Series. Well, it's the junior league, so we made it the year after the Little League World Series in Williamsport. So playing with a team, we basically took our select team and played Little League, which that's back when all the good players still played Little League. You know what I mean? Back then. So
Yep.
now everything's so select ball heavy, but
Yep.
that was awesome, man. Getting to go up there with the guys I played with since I was coach pitch level, and go up there and play. And we actually came up. We lost. We were the U.S. champs. We lost to the Chinese Taipei in the World Championship game. So that was by far, bar none, playing on ESPN at 14 or 13. That was definitely the coolest memory.
Heck yeah, dude. Hey, you got to experience some cool things. All right, man. The last thing, and I'm done with you, Pat Day of Ranger College. One thing you would do to improve the game of baseball.
Oof, man. I don't know. I think like anything, there's adjustments have been made. I'd like at the same time as I'd like to see less changes made. I'd like to go back to some of the old school stuff. I think the changes that are currently being put in, slowly. I think they're actually helping the game.
Yeah.
The pitch clock. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but just like I was when I was working at DSC San Antonio, getting to work with pro guys all the time. They were telling us like, I mean, it sucks, but like everything, we'll just get used to it. And so
Yep.
I think they're doing a good job to make the game, progress and be better. So right now, man, I think I don't have anything off the top of my head that I would just change about it. But I would, if I had to, man, I'd take the shows and, 'cause I have some shows at the pro level. So
Heck yeah.
I don't like those guys. I would fix. I'm still torn if I want the robo umps or not. I'm not a
Yeah.
huge fan. The human error part is part of the game.
Yeah.
That's the fun part. So I hope they change that and don't go to a robot umpire. That's just me personally. Like I said, the human error is part of it, but the show where they're big bad Mr. Umpire, I don't like that part.
Yeah.
So
Get out of here. Get off your knees, Blue. No, I love it, Pat. Well, hey, man, it has been so awesome seeing your face on this screen, hearing your voice, dude. And from everybody that knows you from our scenario, everybody's so proud of you, man. You keep going and killing it, pulling for you. And we're just so happy and thankful that you were able to join us on the Baseball Forward podcast today. Thank you, Pat.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate everything and appreciate you having me on today. It's been a blast.
All right, buddy. Hey, we'll talk soon, okay?
All right, man. Thank you.
All right. Take care, Pat.
Yes, sir.